Good morning. This is Jeffrey Mangus with AMPOSSIBLE and Ghostwriting USA. Hope everyone's doing well out there in social media land, out there across Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Hope everyone's doing great. And hope everyone's getting ready for Christmas and getting into the Christmas spirit. But today I wanted to start a new series that involves my book, my new book, AMPOSSIBLE, Real World Solutions for Amputees to Accomplish the Impossible. I wanted to start the series on talking about specific things, not only in the book, but that involves being a person that is living with limb loss, an amputee, and their families out there around the world. Every day, something hit me the other day when I was talking to my stepson, Jacob. He told me, he said, whenever I get down and I get kind of depressed, and then I think about my stepdad, who every day has to put on a leg, put on his prosthetic, and put on all of his accessories just to be able to walk around and live life. That inspired me to hear him say that, and it touched me because I realized that a lot of people don't understand what amputees go through every single day. Matter of fact, I know they don't. They see us, they don't realize that we've gone through probably mountains of pain and mountains of emotional trauma. And every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, I realize when I do take my prosthetic leg off that I feel vulnerable. I feel kind of lost. I feel, and then you're looking at my limb, and I'm sure every amputee out there that's listening to me today, right now, when you see your limb, even though you might have come to terms with it, it's still a constant reminder of a trauma and a traumatic time in your life. And it's a daily reminder that you went through something. And sometimes that's difficult to handle. Sometimes it's very difficult to handle. I know so. I live it myself. There's days when I realize I can't believe that this has happened to me still. Even though I've come to terms with it and am living the best life I can possibly live, it's still every day something that it brings. I look at myself and I see myself differently, and I see myself, and I go back and kind of relive those moments after losing my limb, which were really, really, really some of the hardest moments in my life. And I talk about that deeply in my book, AMPOSSIBLE. This book was 2 years of strenuous work, but not only the writing work, but the work in experiencing life again, bringing what happened to me back to life in words, but I had to relive it. I had to go through that pain and those moments of agony and those moments of despair, and had to live through depression again and relive those moments to bring this book to you. But my hope with the book is I went through all of that again to bring it into print to help one person. My goal is to help that one person. If you are out there and you are going through this time and you've lost a limb or 2 limbs or whatever your situation is, if you're going through this book is designed and written with the pure intent to help you and guide you and fill you with inspiration to know that you can get your life back. That may sound a little, maybe even trivial. Everybody says, get your life back. This is what I mean, is to truly get your life back and live and enjoy what's yours. But you must do the work, and you must endure and go through something that most people don't go through. I see amputees as strong people. I think people that live with limb loss have something inside that most people have, and everyone has, but I believe that when you live with limb loss, there's something inside you that you find that you didn't know you realized or didn't know that you had. You have strength inside, inner strength, and you have the ability to motivate yourself and to push yourself and to adapt. I'll never forget when I first lost my leg and I was in a wheelchair and trying to manipulate just the chair alone to try to get around the house. And I realized that one day I was in the kitchen and I couldn't reach to get something. And I figured out a way to do that. And as soon as I did, my wife walks in and she's like, "Look at you. You figured out how to do that." And at that moment, I realized that you can adapt and figure out ways to do things. My days are filled with figuring out ways to do things and how to balance and how to manipulate terrain and how to just walk around. The other evening, I was with my granddaughters walking through this beautiful park looking at Christmas lights, but it was dark and the ground wasn't even. And I found myself adapting to that situation and learning how to keep myself balanced and not trip and not fall and run myself at risk of getting hurt. These are all things that happen every day to an amputee. Whether you're a lower limb amputee or an upper limb amputee, there are things you deal with every single day that has to be dealt with and has to be adapted to. And you have to figure out things and ways to make things happen for you. This is what other people that do not have limb loss don't realize every day, that we go through this. But if you're here and you're listening to my voice and you are an amputee, I urge you to reach out and get my book. It is on Amazon and bookstores all around the world, around the country. And it is, of course, available on Amazon in Kindle, in hardback, and in Audible as well. I'm very excited about the book, not because of just publishing a book. I'm excited to see it help people. I'm excited to see that it's touching those out there that need it most. And this was the whole journey of writing the book was about, is to sincerely and deeply help someone, help anyone who's going through a limb loss and living their life this way and trying to adapt to a new life, along with their families and their partners and their friends and their colleagues who now have someone who's lost their limb, and it's very difficult on you as well. And this is what this book is all about. So thank you for listening to me, but I want to read an excerpt, just a small excerpt out of the book. And this excerpt is about going home. After limb loss, after lower limb loss, lower amputations, things must be planned. And this chapter is called Going Home, a New Life Journey. This is chapter 6 out of Impossible. Ingress and egress, getting in and out of your home. Getting out of the hospital and going home is a monumental step in your overall recovery. Leaving the hospital is an exciting moment and provides you a newfound freedom and a positive step forward in your limb loss journey. Yet, if you are a lower limb amputee, going home could be challenging and even problematic. With lower limb loss and the nature of mobility with getting in and out of the home, strategic planning is needed for this transition. The goal is to return home comfortably, easily, and safely. Once, during a certified peer visit, I met Terry W., a right leg below the knee amputee. She was scheduled to be released to go home in a few short days. So I asked her, "What are your plans and how do you feel about going home?" She responded, "Well, I hope my daily life gets back to normal, but look at me. Is there such a thing as normal anymore? And I admit her statement took me back. I remained silent, but before I could answer, she said, I'm sure I will need to learn to do things differently than others at home. I guess it is all part of learning what I can do and can't do. The only thing I must do is not let my limb loss hinder my ability to try, period. And she was right. And it hit me. Understanding that things will be different will involve patience, ingenuity, and acceptance for the best outcome, and it is important when transitioning to go home. The best approach to adapting in returning to your home is planning and taking it one day at a time. Another left leg amputee friend, Audrey B, said, I'm most afraid of stairs when I get home. I'm not sure if I can go up and down safely. Plus, I'm afraid of being too slow around my family. I told her to approach climbing the stairs just like everything else in her life, one step at a time. I advised her to not worry about being slow. Family should be understanding and accommodating to her condition. Returning home involves keeping realistic expectations and taking charge of your daily life. Embrace your new life. Embrace what your new life has to offer and understand your limits and recognize your immense capabilities. Living at home is the beginning of it all. That is a portion out of my book, AMPOSSIBLE, Real World Solutions for Amputees to Accomplish the Impossible. So if you are a lower limb amputee, going home and planning to go home and planning getting around is a absolute necessity in successfully going home. So these are things that most people don't think about. The simple things, climbing up stairs or getting into your front door and climbing up the stairs up the stoop, or even climbing down. And if you're not able to, especially when you first go home, you might need a wheelchair, or a wheelchair ramp needs to be built, which can cost and finances. There are so many variables and so many cogs in the wheel that what this book is all about. It is all in here. I thank you for listening to me. Thank you for putting up with me, and I hope you enjoyed today's little session about amputation and limb loss. And if you are an amputee out there and you want to share this video, please, I encourage you to do that. But you can get my book, AMPOSSIBLE, on Amazon. It's on Kindle, hardback, and in audio, and share it with a friend. Give it as a gift for Christmas. That helps someone, uplift them, and give them the gift that keeps on giving, which is hope and inspiration and motivation. Thank you so much. This is Jeffrey Mangus with AMPOSSIBLE and Ghostwriting USA. Take care.